1 year ago, this once busy market town was named as Britain's ghost town. That's because 30% of its stores stood empty with to let and for sale signs staring out at passing customers on almost every street. So what was it that turned this prosperous middle class area into a ghost town? And 1 year on, have local traders found the cure? Situated by the Bridgewater Canal, Altrincham can trace its roots back to 1290. It was once a hive of industrial activity, but now it's known as an affluent commuter town that lies just 8 miles to the south of Manchester. The town's residents rely on its public transport links, but unfortunately the bus station now looks as tired as the high street. Altrincham became the UK's biggest ghost town last year after a survey showed that the town had more empty shops than anywhere else in Britain. Last year, Altrincham had a vacancy rate of 30%. Blackpool came in second with 29%, and Dewsbury in West Yorkshire had 27%. In just a few weeks' time, we'll find out if Altrincham's vacancy rate has improved, but when you walk around this town, it doesn't seem like it's getting any better. Over the past year, the local traders in Altrincham have been trying to fight back. And as I wandered through the town, I wanted to find out if there'd been any change.
To be honest, not an awful lot has changed. I don't feel. It was tough then, it's tough now. The town does have a lot of empty properties, both shops and offices. And yeah, there's been some take up on some of those old ones, but we could really do with getting a lot more of those filled before I think the town's going to really recover.
Opposite Stewart's shop is an empty retail unit. The signs on it promise that new stores will be coming soon. But these signs have now been there for so long that even they've begun to age. 3 years ago, this was a McDonald's, and the local retailers' support group believe that this should have been a sign of Altrincham's downward spiral.
That should have sent alarm bells to the people in power of our local community to say, if McDonald's is going, why is it going? Why is McDonald's going? No one put up a flag. It should have been done 3 years ago when it left. No one, it didn't light any fires in anybody, which was very, very poor.
Most towns that can't support a burger shop like that, you'd suggest they've got a problem. And of course it's in a fairly visible position. So if we could get people into units like that and give the impression that the town's busy again, then hopefully it'll work.
A report published 2 years ago by the British Shops and Stores Association said that the high street would face a slow death by trying to compete with huge supermarkets and out-of-town retail parks. Just a few steps away from Altrincham's high street is a Tesco Extra and a Sainsbury's that seem to entice the customer with everything under one roof.
They carry everything. This is not rocket science. We all know what they carry. Tesco's has got opticians, it's got grocers, it's got butchers, it's got bakers. We already had that in the main town. So the main town is these shopping centres. It's not the main town as it was.
If the two local supermarkets were the nail in the coffin for this once busy high street, then maybe it was the Trafford Centre that switched off Altrincham's life support.
The opening of the Trafford Centre really hit the town. It's 10-15 minute drive away, and of course it's a huge retail park. And at that time people thought it was easier perhaps just to drive up there rather than stay locally.
But is it possible that just two local supermarkets and an out-of-town retail park are to blame? I spent a few days speaking to the shopkeepers in Altrincham, and I began to see that there was a problem with one particular issue: business rates. This is a tax that businesses should pay if they work in a non-domestic property like a shop. They're payable to the local council and then shared out around the country. The people who work here in Altrincham think that they're just too expensive.
My business rates were established based upon rentable values of 3.5 years ago, when things were quite buoyant, and all of a sudden 18 months ago, everything dropped off the end of a cliff. But you still have to pay the business rate against the valuation they set some time ago. So I'm in a ludicrous situation now, like a lot of shopkeepers here, where we're actually paying more business rates than we are paying rent.
A local councillor from Trafford believes that the government should do more to make sure that these business rates can be used to improve the local area.
In Trafford, we happen to be very successful at collecting them, and that obviously goes across the Altrincham area. But they don't come back into Trafford, they don't come back into Altrincham area, other than the government then giving out the various grants, which it does across the whole country. So as far as Greater Manchester is concerned, we're one of the highest collectors of business rates, but in actual fact we get one of the least amounts of benefit from business rates because of the way the national government reallocates the monies back out in the form of various grants.
But it's not all doom and gloom for Altrincham, because this hospital might have provided the cure. They've decided to move into a brand new state-of-the-art building here at the top of the town's high street.
The hospital's coming, that's extremely positive. And we've got a new hotel which is being built at this side of town, which will offer 90 bedrooms in the town centre, which is very, very positive. So I believe we have reached the bottom and we're on the way up, but only time will tell.
And the hospital development will, because the hospital development will improve the offer at the hospital and improve the facilities, then there's going to be more people coming into the area to use the hospital. There will be better parking facilities nearby, etc. And people will go to the hospital, they don't just go to the hospital and then go away again. A lot of people will come just beforehand and do a little bit of shopping, or they'll stay around, have a coffee afterwards, etc. So there'll be more people using the town centre. It's another reason for people to come into the town centre.
Before I left Altrincham, I'd arranged to meet a businesswoman who'd set up an independent store on this once successful high street. But when I arrived, this is what I found. Using the number I'd used to contact her just a few weeks ago, I tried to call, but the line was dead. I left hoping that more shops wouldn't go the same way.